So basically, I've developed some form of model for discussion where I've applied unit rates to just give you an overview of what you look at in terms of price of coming at each level. So as Ken has already said and discussed about the land, the drawings is normally based on a percentage. It used to first, drawings cost was used to base on a percentage of the total cost. Now it's changing. People were like, the architects are just designing it so that the cost goes up, so that their fee goes up as well. So now the system has changed to an effect where they just give a standard price, the complexity of the drawings and everything. Let's say you're putting up a 3 bedroom or 4 bedroom house complete. You should be looking at approximately, let's say 20K here. A lot of people just go with the architectural and not go with the structural. What I've realized is that when you do that, you don't get enough structural information, and that's what results in your building collapsing along the way. It normally doesn't happen with single story buildings, but if you want to go with a double story, then I recommend you go with a structural drawings as well. This is based on a 3 bedroom house. The foundations, at least you should be looking at spending somewhere between, total of this brings it to about 45K for a single story. A total of that same for the double story will bring it to 51,000. If you make a quick calculation, you'd get to know that by the time you're done with the foundation, you should be looking at about 12 to 15% of the cost already covered. And that is the most important part of the building. So as necessary as much as possible to spend as much as you can in the foundation according to what the structural engineer has told you to do. Because if the foundation fails, that is it. After that, we go to the frame, is basically the columns and the beams. And with the columns and the beams, you should be looking at somewhere around also the same cost. Basically, they are hidden costs, but they are also expensive because sometimes the comparison between the concrete and all the information, the reels and structural components makes it very expensive. And mostly it's very expensive for the double story because it needs to carry more weight than the single story. Then you come to the building envelope. So by the time you're done with the frame, you are looking at somewhere around 12%, since that one is also around the same price. But then if it's a double story, then you'll be looking at somewhere around 15 to 16%. Then you come to envelope. When we say envelope, envelope is everything that covers the building. There are two ways in which you can reduce your cost or change your cost. A cost of a building has so many dynamics and parameters that can make it change from 100K to about 500K. It depends on what you want. And I'm saying this because we've gotten to where your choice actually makes a difference. Because with a foundation, there's no much choice about it. It's what has to be done, it's what has to be done. But when it gets to the envelope going forward, it's the choice. In this case, if you want to be safe, you just go with the block wall for the external wall. Some people prefer a much lot of view and sunlight and everything. So therefore, they'll go with glazed windows. Comparing the difference, a glazed windows, if you just look at the difference between the rate for the glazed windows and the block walls, you are almost about 600 cities different. So you can imagine, depending on the square meters. So if you have a coverage, a vertical wall area of about 100 meters squared, you should be looking at the difference of about 60,000 cities, and that's a lot of money. But then it would give you the view. Then again, you can choose to go with a roof slab, a concrete slab, or a metal clad. Also, a concrete slab would give you a nice look. Now there is all these hidden roofs with parapet walls, yes, and you can get a concrete roof, put it on your poly tank and all that. But at the same time, it will be so much expensive than you going with a metal cladding. So then again, it comes down to what you want. Do you want the look or do you want the functionality? Both will give you the functionality, but some of them will give you the look. And based on what you're actually looking for, it will tell you whether to go with this. And as a matter of fact, can I compromise on the slab? Can I compromise on this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Some people just go with the slab with a hope that they would continue another time. That is a very great idea. You might not be fully prepared to do a double story now. So then you can go with a single story with good foundation for a double story. Just put on a concrete roof and take your time. In some couple of years, you come back to continue. It's happened in places and it's a perfect thing that goes on. But some people, some structural engineers advise against that. Why? Because then it gives the building the opportunity to be worn down by weather. Also, when you start building it, the artisans, they might build it as if it's a single story because that is what they have in their mind. And therefore, when you come to put on the top floor, it weighs so much to the extent that it results in cracks in a few years. There are both ups and downs. You just have to make it clear if that is your decision. And that depends on how ready you are. The next bit is the services. Then again, the services is also a big factor of the cost. That brings it to approximately 22% of the total cost. What I've included here, for instance, is with the mechanical, I have AC in each room. You might not want to go with that, so you want to reduce it. If you reduce that, it brings it to about $30. But as I'm speaking in cities, everything that I say it should be in cities. So then you can take it down to about 30 cities per meter squared, and that would exclude your ACs and that will bring you down your amount, your percentage to 20%. And you see how that big varies everything. This electrical is based on good quality cables, is based on everything that I've presented is based on a bit on the high side, is on the average, hoping everything doesn't change dramatically again. You should be expecting to spend this total cost that you see on a 3-bedroom house. Then it comes to finishes. Then again, this depends on what you want. It plays a lot. If you want to go with scheming, you put it in. If you don't want, you just take it out. It reduces so many things. You would think it's nothing, but it also gives you the appeal. Painting and geotex coating is another cost against it. This cost is big because of the geotex coating. Geotex coating is very expensive. If you want to make both painting, you are looking about something around 40. It takes about 20K. That takes about 5K off your cost. The next big thing is the floor finishes, the ceiling finishes, and the joinery. Also, the joinery is also a big thing. Which kind of finish do you want for your joinery? Do you just want timber laminate? Do you want veneer? What finish are you looking for? And that plays a big role. If you look at it, that also brings you to a percentage of about 24 to 25% on your finishes. This is on the average. And a lot of time, people spend more on finishes than anything. So it's best you have a clear definition before you move into your cost. The last bit is the external works, which is based on what you want basically. If you want, this is based on average, but if you want too much landscaping, that would increase. The last two, which is the underground disposal and the paving, is basically a standard thing that doesn't normally change because there is nothing you can do about it except you alter the area of the paving. Then again, it all also depends on what you want to see. Total, if you're looking at a single story, you're looking about 342K, including the external works, but without fence wall, including all the external works. I've not included fence wall in here because fence wall varies. What's the size of the land will determine the fence wall cost. Which kind of fence wall do you want to put there? But basically, the size of the land, because the bigger the land, the longer the fence wall, and therefore I've not included it in here. So this includes everything that you need to do in the house except the fence wall, including landscaping and everything. And this is for a double story of the same size of a single story, but in 2 levels. If you look at it, because of economies of scale, when you're building a double story, because you have so many things being done at the same time, and therefore you're saving, the cost per unit reduces by approximately 50K. And that is, let's say, percentage wise, you're saving 15% in building a double story of the same size as compared to you just building one single story. So to a large extent, I always tell people that if you have the resources, go with the double. You can rent the other unit out. In this case, I've analyzed it as if it's the same 3-bedroom downstairs that you're putting upstairs. A quick calculation, if you want to just do any calculation first of all before you determine what you want, is the cost per meter square that you can see here.